My name is Cash Moses, and I am the Procurement Director with the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans Procurement Department. This is the Selection Committee meeting for the RFP for Program Management for Lead Line Replacement Program. I'd like to inform everyone that this meeting is being recorded. If you're on Microsoft Teams, please be sure to mute your mic so there are no interruptions. At this time, we will do a roll call of the Selection Committee. Please introduce yourself and state your department or company.
Sorry. Alton DeLarge III, Sewage and Water Board Assistant Water Purification Superintendent.
Grace Bergeron, Sewage and Water Board, Program Manager, Business Services.
Grace Vogel, Sewage and Water Board, Landscape Architect, Environmental Department.
Steve Yang, Deputy General Superintendent of Business Services.
William Gasquet, Compliance Specialist, EDBP.
Chris Lapinto, Utility Customer Service Manager with Plumbing.
Thank you. The Selection Committee will be evaluating and scoring 4 proposals. Ardura, CDM Smith, Community Infrastructure Partners, Equiflow NOLA, and Mott McDonald. We will begin scoring. Mr. William Gasquet with the EDBP Department will give his scores for DBE. Selection Committee, please be sure to add the DBE scores on your scoring sheet to make sure it's a part of your final score.
The first company for review, CDM Smith Incorporated, submitted a completed participation summary sheet signed by a company representative. 5 DBEs were listed: MSMM Engineering, CDW Services, Square Button Consulting, Gaia Engineering Consultants, and Garden Doctors. MSMM Engineering will provide project management, permitting, procurement support, and funding. CDW Services will provide construction management, construction operations coordination, and inspection services. Square Button Consulting will provide project management, project controls, workforce development, and a call center. Gaia Engineering Consultants will provide historic preservation consulting services. Garden Doctors will provide arborist consulting services. All 5 companies are LAUCP certified. CDW Services and Square Button Consulting, which are both certified by LAUCP and SLDBE. All companies are certified to perform the task assigned to each of them required for this project. The established goal is 35%. CDM Smith has met the established DBE goal of 35% with an intent to achieve a participation goal of 42%. Upon proposal submission, CDM Smith Incorporated included signed correspondences from each DBE confirming their agreement to perform their assigned task. The Economically Disadvantaged Business Program recommends that CDM Smith receive 10 of 10 points.
Oh, wait. It's right there in meetings on the website.
On the website?
Yep.
Can you hear? Can you turn it up for your value, maybe?
Yeah. Let's see.
I got it. So everyone will write a 5.
Okay.
So if it's
Just making
10 out of 10, it's actually 5 points.
Okay.
Okay.
Next company for review, Community Infrastructure Partners. Community Infrastructure Partners submitted a completed participation summary sheet signed by a company representative. 2 DBEs were listed: Integrated Logistical Support, and the Hawthorne Agency. Integrated Logistical Support will perform lead service line verifications and inventory management reporting. The Hawthorne Agency will conduct community outreach and engagement. Both companies are LAUCP and SLDBE certified to perform the task assigned to each of them for this project. The established goal is at 35%. Community Infrastructure Partners has met the established DBE goal of 35% with an intent to achieve a participation goal of 35.9%. Upon proposal submission, Community Infrastructure Partners included signed correspondences from both DBEs confirming their agreement to perform their assigned task. The Economically Disadvantaged Business Program recommends that Community Infrastructure Partners receive a 10 out of 10, which is a 5, correct? Okay. The third organization for review is Mott McDonald. Mott McDonald submitted a completed participation summary sheet signed by a company representative. 5 DBEs were listed: Legacy Professional Services, Wingate Engineers, Fulcrum Enterprises, GMC Co., and ABC Communications Group. Legacy Professional Services will perform lead line replacement, construction management, and workforce development. Wingate Engineers will perform general program management, investigations, lead line replacements, and construction management. Fulcrum Enterprises will provide pitcher filters, post-replacement water quality kits, construction management, and a call center. GMC Co. will provide outreach, communication, and education. ABC Communications Group will provide public education and outreach. All 5 companies are LAUCP certified. Legacy Professional Services and Wingate Engineers are LAUCP and SLDB certified. All companies are certified to perform the task assigned to each of them required for this project. The established goal remains at 35%. Mott McDonald has met the established goal of 35%. Upon proposal submission, Mott McDonald included signed correspondence from all DBEs confirming their agreement to perform their assigned tasks. The Economically Disadvantaged Business Program recommends that Mott McDonald receive a 5. Final company for review is Ardor Group Incorporated. Ardor Group submitted a completed participation summary sheet signed by a company representative. 5 DBEs were listed: DMM and Associates, the Estopinal Group, Pivotal Engineering, GoTech, and Dana Brown Associates. DMM and Associates will provide public relations and public outreach. The Estopinal Group will provide public relations and public outreach. Pivotal Engineering will perform engineering. GoTech will perform geotechnical engineering. Dana Brown and Associates will perform landscaping. All 5 companies are SLDBE certified. DMM and Associates, GoTech, and Dana Brown and Associates are LAUCP and SLDBE certified. All companies are certified to perform the task assigned to each of them required for this project. The established goal is 35%. Ardor Group has met the established goal of 35% with an intent to achieve our participation goal of 36%. Upon proposal submission, Ardor Group included signed correspondence from both DBEs confirming their agreement to perform their assigned task. The Economically Disadvantaged Business Program recommends that Ardor Group receive a 5.
Thank you, William. Next, we will have Kareen, who is with our consultant company, give a analysis of the bid proposals. Kareen, are you there, or is Chris?
It's me. I'm here. Thanks, Cash.
You're welcome.
And are you sharing your screen for the slide deck? Or am I sharing it?
I'm going to let you share it.
Okay, give me 1 second. You should see it on the screen, but please confirm.
Yes, we can see it.
Great, thank you. I'll continue. I'm going to switch screens because something is not allowing me to move through my page, so just bear with me 1 second. All right, let's try that again. All right, here we go. Thanks for your patience. So the scope of the technical review today will be focusing on qualifications, both at the corporate level and the individual
Kareen?
level. Yes.
Corinne, is.
Yeah.
Are you, and is it full screen? No, you're not full screen. And you got to introduce yourself too.
Ah, all right. Fair enough. We'll get this right. All right. My name is Corinne Mulwick. I'm with AECom, and I supported the development of the procurement documents, and I'm helping to review from a technical perspective the proposals received. And I will take you into full scale. Give me 1 second. The reason why I went out of it was because I was unable to advance the screen. So we're going to try this again. All right. You should see the full screen.
Yes.
Great. So the focus of my review is on qualifications, corporate and at the individual level, the technical approach, the level of effort, the schedule, and the references in terms of compliance and scope. What I'm not speaking to, if there's any embedded links or references, I acknowledge but did not evaluate engagement on current programs, projects with the board, LDH, or the city. I also did not comment on legal environmental compliance disclosure. I also didn't comment on communications, outreach, and education, except for coordination with LCRI compliance. And finally, as you just heard, someone else spoke to DBE participation and commitment, so I'm not speaking to that either. Aha, the page to advance. In terms of the summary, I want to first talk about the team members on each of the proponents' teams. What you'll see in the first row are the members, a lot of whom you just heard with the DBE description. I also am emphasizing the predictive modeling approach, the call center approach, optional services, and anyone who was identified on the team for whom no cost was assigned. So prime firms are on that top dark green role for predictive modeling. One exception was noted by the CIP team that they were not planning to use predictive modeling. No cost or labor was identified for that. CDM Smith proposed to run the predictive model with their affiliate Trinex, providing hours. That's how they denoted their level of effort. However, they also noted the flexibility to work with their legacy provider, Blue Conduit, at the board's request. Both Ardura and Mott MacDonald used Blue Conduit, supported also by their own forces and sub-consultants. In terms of the call center for Ardura, the proponent proposed to work with Pivotal and Estopanol. CDM proposed to use the AMS call center as described, but also allocated hours to HDR, Square Button, and Raguso. In terms of CIP, they identified the Hawthorne Agency as the lead on the call center, and for Mott MacDonald, it was a combined effort for Mott MacDonald, Fulcrum, and Coriac. In terms of optional services, Ardura and CDM Smith both acknowledged that costs had not been covered for materials testing or surveys. Ardura identified those services as optional. CIP and Mott MacDonald didn't comment. In terms of no cost assigned, you'll see that both Ardura and CIP had a longer list of participants, both in terms of letters of support, as well as secured partnerships, as well as services in kind in the case of LIUNA. I'll move to the next slide. I also considered the minimum qualifications as described by the proponents. 2 were required from each of the proponents. You'll notice a pink star is on some of these examples, and I'm using that pink star to really emphasize that where a proponent has described their experience based on sewer laterals, meter replacements, or a Toronto program, none of those are subject to the comprehensive requirements of the US EPA's lead and copper rule improvements. With that said, the procurement document did say, or like services, not quite in those words, but would consider other experience examples. So let's go through the examples for Ardura. And sorry, I'm presenting the firms in terms of alphabetical order. So with Ardura, their first proof of minimum qualifications was the Miami-Dade program, management for consumer water line relocation programs. I'll note that over 1,400 service lines were replaced in a single 12-month period. But I'll also note that this was for a combination of water line materials for lead and other materials. Their second proof was for the City of Toronto, which is a program management opportunity with Toronto Water and Transportation Services, looking at replacing water lines, sanitary lines, and storm sewers. And that is a long-term program, and it's also attributed to GHD, and they too exceeded the 1,000 replacements in a 12-month period. In the case of CDM Smith, both proofs are for program management. Both are directly relevant to the work at hand in terms of scale and the nature of the work. So they cited DC Water, which included replacements of over 3,500 in a 12-month period, and the City of Newark, a completed program, which at its peak included 10,000 replacements in a 12-month period. CIP included 3 proofs on their list. We'll focus on the first 2. The third one was missing some information in terms of not being clear what the scope was or who had been attributed to in terms of completing the work. So their first proof is a program management for lead replacements exceeding 1,000 lines in a 12-month period, and that was for Wassail County. And the second one is for Detroit Water and Sewage Department, also exceeding 1,000 lines in a 12-month period. I will say that this is attributed to their contracting partner, 5 Star, and not explicitly program management. In the case of Mott MacDonald, they too have 2 program management, sounds a bit weird as I say it, but 2 programs for lead replacements, both at scale greater than 1,000 service lines replaced in a year. And so if I had to provide a qualitative statement, I would say that you've got 2 proponents in front of you that have directly relevant experience and scale to meet the needs of the board, although all proofs were considered. In terms of the references, we're looking for 3 references submitted by each team, covering 6 categories of questions, and each question was scored up to a 4-point max. What I've done here is highlighted those programs that are considered directly relevant in terms of program management for lead line replacement. These are highlighted in bold. I've also noted where top scores were identified across all categories, and I will say all recommendations noted that the proponent was recommended. And so what you see here is Adura had 6 references that were received by the board, including 2 that were considered directly relevant to the Buffalo Lead program and the Miami-Dade Consumer Line program. There were some scores less than 4 relating to meeting expectations, project understanding, timely submissions, project understanding, and relationship. In the case of CDM Smith, 3 references were received, top scores across all categories in 2 of those references, and the third reference had 3 scores at 3 regarding meeting expectations, project manager, and project understanding. CIP, I was only able to review 1 reference. That was all that I saw, and that was for the Wassail Lead program. Again, there was 1 score of 3 for project understanding, and I note that it was underestimated the complexity of the program at the start, but adapted. In the case of Mott MacDonald, 2 references were received. Top scores were noted across all categories. And in summary, Ardura, I would say 2 directly irrelevant references. CDM Smith had 3 references that were all directly relevant. CIP had 1 directly relevant, and Mott MacDonald had 2 directly relevant. I also took a scan of the adherence to the page limits. This may seem a bit nitpicky or detailed oriented, but the nature of the lead program is such that there are a lot of details, and I was interested to see the scope in terms of the production of these documents. High level, I'll say most items were complied with. The one exception was with page limits. Everyone came in at 30 pages or less, with the exception of CIP that came in at 36 pages. Now I'll get into the technical scoring. So this is the basis or the framework that we use to score, or we're providing instructions for scoring. I will say I'm not scoring, but providing instructions for scoring as it relates to proposer qualification, proposer methodology, and level of effort. So for proposer qualification, we're looking at the firm experience, health and safety, and the delivery team experience. We're looking to make sure that the experience is credible and it can be used to demonstrate that the proponent can scale up to manage the board's inventory, that they have a knowledge of working in the streets of New Orleans, that they're focused on water service line replacement, be it lead lines or just water services, and experience on both the public and private side. Looking for something that is more than just LCRI compliance experience. It really has to be the full services required for a lead service line replacement program as well. As I previously noted, sewer laterals, meter replacements, or Canadian programs are not subject to the LCRI. And we also looked at the safety record in terms of the TRIR, and which is incident recording, and any firm that noted a score greater than 3 should be scored 0 is the instruction to the selection committee. And I'll note that none of the proponents had a value greater than 3. In terms of the proposer methodology, which is worth the bulk of the scoring here, you're looking at the program management approach, communication outreach and education approach, workforce development approach, and construction management approach. And the question that you're trying to answer here is, does the bidder understand the complexity of lead line replacements in New Orleans? Is their approach consistent with the LCRI requirements? Are we able to integrate lead line replacements with existing construction in the city? And what does planning work look like between investigations and replacements? With the inclusion of the schedule, we also wanted to know, are schedule commitments feasible? Finally, we have a level of effort based on replacing 1,500 lines in year 1 and 7,500 lines in year 2. And the question here is, does the level of effort seem reasonable? Are there any obvious gaps for tasks, rules, or firms? So I'll start with Ardura, again, going in alphabetical order. So we'll start with the strengths and we'll go with the weaknesses for each of the categories. In terms of qualifications, the local project manager has program management experience in the city, including in the street, and as part of a Streetworks program, replaced 187 lead line replacements. That may not seem significant on the scale here, but it does count as lead line replacement experience. Multiple senior team members are ex-board employees, and there's extensive experience with LCRI compliance-related activities. You can see that all of their incident reporting numbers were less than 1, and they actually had the second highest, high being bad, good, low being good. So it's ranked second highest values. Hope that was clear. In terms of weaknesses, both proofs are for program management of what I would call EPA-L lead line replacement adjacent scope. As I said, Miami-Dade is a water line replacement program for all materials, and Toronto is for water, sewer, and storm lines. The Aqua Pennsylvania program is a small diameter water main replacement program. While the Ardura team has a long list of LCR compliance projects and many with lead line replacement plans, programmatic lead line replacement is limited to a smaller scale application based on the information provided. And the examples are Buffalo, Cape Fear, and Gannett in Ohio. I didn't see any staff from Toronto, from the Toronto proof proposed. We did see that the PMC program manager, construction manager for Miami-Dade was proposed as a database management and data gathering task lead for this pursuit. In terms of the proposer methodology, Ardura really did frame their approach around using the database to drive program activities. I also want to acknowledge the mobile education unit and neighborhood customer service team. It's a considered approach to outreach and education that was proposed. And they'll also, part of their approach was to ask for residents to self-identify materials. Prioritization of efforts really focus on reducing public health risk, and the KPIs focus on same-day completion, restoration, and temporary paving. Practical approaches were described for funding, permitting, and communications. A one-page schedule was provided, and it shows a June 1st notice proceed for the program manager, with field investigations starting in November and the inventory completed by end of year 2027. They also showed that lead line replacements would start in December 2026. In terms of weaknesses, I did notice a comment, we will inspect and verify all lines. That should be explored a bit in detail in terms of what inspection means and verification means, because that whether or not that's necessary for all lines. In terms of data security, the discussion there was limited to the vendor's security features as opposed to other attributes. The board could clarify the role of GHD on predictive modeling. They were named, but they weren't assigned to hours. It's also unclear what restoration will be performed because there was no KPI proposed. And from the level of effort assumptions, the approach assumes that there would be no concrete removal nor restoration for investigations, restoration being limited to backfill and sod. Filter distribution and water quality kit distribution would be provided by inspection teams, and there was no dedicated full-time inspector identified per contractor crew. It does imply sharing, but again, these points could be explored further by the board. Finally, in terms of the level of effort at 56,950 hours, this was the lowest number of hours submitted. I did note that there were limited hours for filter pitcher and water quality procurement, distribution, and monitoring. This may be included in task 2. So again, that can be clarified by the board at their preference. I'll move on to CDM Smith. So in terms of qualifications, both proofs for minimum quals, as I said, are for program management, specifically for dedicated lead line replacement and at a scale comparable to the needs of the board. The experience on JIRR comes through both program management for CDM and as well as for construction administration by their sub MSMM. Large-scale lead line replacement program experience was described in Newark, which is a completed program, New York City, Chicago, and DC. And they've demonstrated the capability to replace more than 10,000 lead line replacements a year, with key team members responsible for this performance named for the board's program as well. CDM Smith has 16 completed or active lead line replacement programs. Key roles are local. The program manager has managed large programs for water infrastructure, many in the city, and the deputy program manager has directly relevant experience in terms of replacing over 60,000 lead line replacements, and he will relocate to the city. Local construction manager also has lead line replacement experience, courtesy of the JIRR program. They had the second lowest recordable incidents stat. In terms of weaknesses, the local program manager has limited lead line replacement experience himself, and it's limited to being a QA reviewer on the DC program. In terms of the proposed methodology, CDM proposed a Smart Start approach, which transfers skills from their national lead line programs to the board and the team proposed for the board. They have a clear understanding of permits required and funding availability and applicability. MSMM brings unique debt relief financing experience. The call center approach is based on CDM's experience of 7 lead line replacement or LCRI focused call centers. They propose to use predictive modeling to clear 90% of the unknowns before November 2027, which is a compliance due date under the LCRI, and coupled with managing the JIRR program, they estimate that they can save up to 30% on utility side replacements by managing both programs, presenting an opportunity. They provided a 6-page detailed schedule with a notice to proceed for the program manager identified of November 2026 and a lead line replacement start in June 2027. In terms of weaknesses for the methodology, per the schedule, the notice to proceed for contractors for field investigations and potholing is in late in the second half of 2027 for task 2, but it also shows inspections in December 2026 under task 3. I would suggest that the board seeks clarification on that. I might be misunderstanding something. The other comment is the level of effort for funding that I noticed here is relatively low compared to the other proponents. In terms of the level of effort, 138,556 hours were noted. I will say that AMS call center has no hours or costs for the call center task 6.2, although there are hours shown for CDM, HDR, Ragusa, and Square Buttoned. Again, the board should seek clarification. All right, moving on to CIP. Their strengths are that one of 2 proofs for their minimum qualifications was for program management for lead line replacement. Key roles are or will be local. They've included Arcadis on task 3 for lead line replacements, and the local experience for this team as a whole is attributed to Arcadis's role on JIRR and SSERP, and ILSI and GEC also provide local experience, 2 of their subs. Their safety record was the highest. Again, high is bad, low is good, and this is provided on behalf of their contracting partner, 5-star. In terms of weaknesses, in terms of qualifications, the Prime's program management experience is from small-scale lead line replacement programs. I'll also caution some key roles proposed for the board also have key roles on existing programs in Waso, Racine, and Westerly. It's unclear how shared resources will be accessed. The program manager, the Prime firm, does not have a history of local delivery and no office in the city, but will open one as a program hub. The proposed program manager has not served as a program manager per his resume. I'm working strictly with the information provided on the resume. The board should vet qualifications of the future hires that are anticipated. There's quite a number of them planned. There may be a risk that hires are not timely, but again, the vetting should be pursued with the board. In terms of the methodology, the strengths are that there was a separate approach for residential and commercial historical lead line replacements, acknowledging the challenges are different for those 2 categories. Workforce development strategy was based on 4 areas: engineering, construction, outreach, public health, and program management. Their partnership with Xavier University to combine home visits with investigations, albeit starting in 2027, leverages a unique opportunity. Their 1-page schedule shows a July 26 start date for the program manager, with field investigations starting in September 2026 and the contractor notice to proceed for replacements in January 2027. Some of their weaknesses. It was unclear to me how the program governance and advisory team would operate or engage with the board. They're identified on the org chart with this title. Morgan Stanley's role is unclear. There's reference that they may provide financing beyond the BIL per the task 8 level of effort assumptions. The board should seek clarifications on this. They've also proposed the use of third-party inspection firm to confirm the work performed. I think this is more of an auditing role, but again, this should be confirmed. It's unclear how this role differs from ILSI's inspectors of task 3 or 4 if it's not referring to an audit role. Multiple references were included in the wording of the proposal that this is an opportunity for a new method or performance-based contracting. Their level of effort came in at 118,564 hours. They're relatively high on program management tasks and relatively light on data filters, excuse the typo there, and water quality, task 3.2 and 3.3 and 3.4. The board could seek clarification to confirm the level of effort. I'll move on to our final proponent, Mott MacDonald. Their strengths are that both proofs for their minimum quals are for program management for lead line replacement, again at scale. Their program manager has directly relevant experience at lead line replacements and is included as one of the 2 proofs. The construction manager also has lead line replacement experience. The program operations and controls manager has a well-described role, and most of their team members have lead line replacement experience under that operations and controls manager role. Most members of the construction management field and outreach teams are local. Experience on JAR by both the deputy program manager as well as by their sub Wingate includes water line replacements. The workforce development and DBE compliance lead is an ex-board member, and the call center lead and team have specifically lead line replacement program experience. Again, with the safety indicator in terms of incident reporting, they had the lowest score for the last 3 years. In terms of weaknesses, it's unclear how often the program manager who is not local and the construction manager who is also not local will be in New Orleans. They are, however, supported by a local deputy program manager. The program ops and controls manager is not local and also has no lead line replacement experience, but as mentioned, has a team that does have pretty deep lead line replacement experience. In terms of the proposer methodology, it's based on an engineering, public health, and local neighborhood understanding. This was a message repeated through the proposal. There's an emphasis on a culture of safety throughout the proposal as well. Local team members will be trained on other active MOT lead line replacement programs. There's a clear and detailed permitting strategy, including the use of a dashboard, as well as describing the impacts to the program tasks. And there's a 6-page detailed schedule showing a June 1st notice to proceed for the program manager, start of field investigations in October 2026, and the start of replacements in December of 2026. It is unclear what that hands-on training for local staff assigned to the board's lead line replacement program will entail, or it's also unclear how long staff will attend these active MOT lead line replacement programs for training. Level of effort was 224,034 hours. It's the highest number of hours overall. And they also had noticeably higher hours for tasks 3.3 and 3.4 for the filters and water quality kits. To put this into perspective, I looked at the hours in 2 ways. On the left-hand side of the screen, I just showed the pure counts of hours distributed by each of the tasks. The chart on the right is the same information, but normalized. So hence you see the percentages and you start to see some trends and similarities. The colors mean the same tasks on both sides of the screen, even though the legend is flipped. In terms of the order. And what you see here is, as I mentioned, for Mott MacDonald, the dark green refers to lead line replacement where you have the filters and water quality. So that is disproportionately higher compared to a number of the other firms. You can also see public education and outreach for CDM also is higher than for other firms. You'll also see the relative contributions for project management with CIP and Mott MacDonald comparable. In terms of distribution, the chart on the right shows pretty comparable for construction management. Mott has a bit less, but they have more under lead line replacement, so it could just be an interpretation of scope. But I will leave it at that. And thank you, Cash. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Election Committee, do you have any questions for Karine? No. Awesome. Thank you so much, Karine.
You're welcome.
All right, so we will move forward with going through the technical scoring. Selection Committee will score through consensus scoring. Please provide your final score for each proposal for each category. You can provide your strengths and weaknesses statement for your final score. If you have any questions, please initial the change and update accordingly. Be sure to sign all scoring sheets and turn it to me at the end of this meeting. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so we will start with Ardura first. All right, Elton, you are going first.
Okay.
What is your score for, we are on Ardura for proposal qualifications?
3.5.
Chris,
3.
Felicia,
4.5.
Grace,
4.
Steven.
4.
Okay, so we have a 3.5, a 3, a 4.5, a 4, and a 4. So do Elton and Chris, y'all want to explain why I gave a 3.5 and a 3?
I just believe they have minimal experience with lead line replacement. It seems like their experience is across the board with other things, but not specifically lead line replacement.
Same. That's what I have for their weakness. They have not done many lead service line replacements, but for their strengths, they had adequate qualifications, and the PM experience in New Orleans is pretty good.
And Felicia, you gave a 4.5. You want to give your explanation of that one?
Yeah, I think I put more weight in their local experience and their experience with the board. But I would be willing to go to a 4 if we agreed on a 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they have adequate lead service line replacement experience, but the rest of the experience was like the document says LCRI compliance related activities, not actual replacements. So I believe the same thing. I mean, roughly 3.5 to 4. I mean, yeah,
No 0.75. So,
yeah, I know.
That's my opinion. Yes, I would be willing to bump that to a 4.
okay,
I'm fine with that.
you're a 4?
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
So you don't have to change your score.
No.
This is just for the consensus part. So
Gotcha.
you can keep your score, yes.
Okay.
All right. So next is proposal methodology for Ardora. Elton,
4.
Chris,
3.5.
Alicia,
4.
Grace,
4.5.
Stephen.
3.
So we have a 4, a 3.5, a 4, a 4.5, and a 3. I love y'all. So Chris and Stephen, can you give your explanation for the 3.5 and the 3?
Yeah, I was just a little concerned about the utilization of the data after the fact. You know, some of the security things that were mentioned, just like it's stated here, was a weakness of mine as well. But, you know, based on what I'm seeing here, you know, on their strengths, you know, I'm willing to go up if necessary, but I'll let
That's-
Chris go.
Same thing I had written down. I wasn't really, the data aspect of it was a little, I wasn't sure about it. The questions that we asked, I didn't really like the answers, to be honest. But based off of this, I also would be fine with a 4.
Okay. And Grace, you gave a 4.5.
Mine was pretty much weighted on the detail that they have a local and trusted arborist and landscape firm on the reassessment, or I'm sorry, restoration side and permitting side for environmental reasons. So understandably, I
What was
will.
it? Can you give the 5 scores again?
4, 3.5, 4, 4.5, and 3.
I'll come down to a 4.
4.
4.
Fine with 4.
Everybody agree on
Yeah.
4?
Yeah.
Elton, you agree on that 4?
Oh, yeah.
3.5?
Yeah, I had a 4.
All right. So level of effort, Elton,
I had him as a 5.
Oh.
I did. I had him as a 5, but we presented more data on how it was actually worked. But I'm open on that one. Because
okay.
they met the minimum of it, how I had it, they exceeded it by a little bit, what I thought was a good level of effort.
Okay. Chris,
I had it as a 3.
Alicia, I'll come back.
4.
Grace,
I'll say 3.
Stephen.
3.
All right. So Elton explained his
Great.
stuff. So
I did.
Yeah, I might be scoring a little high, just in general. But I would be willing to go down to a 3.5 if we all agreed on a 3.5.
You want to explain why you gave the 4?
They did have the lowest amount of hours. Which I guess in some ways, yeah, 4 was a low for me. That's
Just a high score over here.
I'm a high scorer, I think, yeah.
Lowest number, but it was also very high in the call center hours, which to me, you know, I think there's a lot more than just the call center that's involved in this.
Well, I was also concerned about the amount of assumptions and like 9 through 12 assumptions that will have wide effect on cost and hours on their list. So I just felt like it wasn't as transparent of a estimate on the hours. Why low scored it.
Okay.
So where are we trying to meet in the middle?
So there's 3 3s, a 4, and a 5.
Like I said.
Oh, I would be willing to change that, especially based on what was presented.
Like I said, I'm good with 3.5.
How y'all feel
Three.
about it?
I'm strong on 3,
Okay.
but I'll negotiate. I just think a 3's fair.
I'm feeling strong on 3.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, I'm sticking to my score, or at least I would like to.
Yeah, I would like to as
My
well.
score.
I think a 3 is.
But
What were the strengths again? That is low.
Correct.
Which I had as, I had it
Okay,
as
I'm
the
good with
strength as
3.
well.
I'm good with 3.
Peer pressure, that one.
We go with 3. I could agree to that,
Okay. Okay.
especially based off the weaknesses.
Sorry. Turn this around.
So next is presentation of program approach. Elton,
4.
Chris,
5.
Alicia? 4. Grace,
4.
Stephen.
3.
All right, so we
Yeah,
have,
obviously, I'm willing to negotiate here, but I just don't know if there's anything different from what you would normally approach this program, is what I'd say. So I don't necessarily agree it should be a 5, but I mean, y'all can talk me into otherwise.
Yeah, I'm fine with going to a 4.
okay.
Yeah, I might have overscored.
I was a 4.
We just agree overall to.
Yeah,
for the 4,
I'm-
okay.
I'm okay with that.
Everybody agree with 4? Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Presentation of community outreach, Elton.
Was being nice. I scored it a 5. I did. I like the mobile education unit, some local community outreach. I liked it. You know, it's very important.
All right, Chris? Alicia?
4.5.
Grace?
4.5.
Stephen?
3.
2 3s, 2 4.5s and a 5.
Well, I was scoring it based on the, a 3 is meeting the minimum and
Yeah.
stuff, right? A 5 is excels. And so if you're giving them a 5, then do you have a weakness on your paper? And if you don't, that's fine. I'd like to hear your strengths to give them a 5.
Elton would like,
I said it already. You want me to repeat it?
yeah,
Okay, so the mobile, like I said, the mobile education unit and the local community outreach that they had was, to me, it was impressive. I am willing to move that though.
I am also, but
Yeah.
I'd like to
Yes.
hear your strengths.
Yes, that would be my 2 strengths.
That was his 2 strengths.
Yeah. That was my 2.
But the
Okay. Yeah.
tire,
Yeah.
the tire team and the mobile team already being an established thing that they've done before and ready to go was a big pro for me. The strike team that's the strike team that can also assist contractor, conflicts. And that their communication and outreach doesn't disappear when the line is replaced was important to me too, as a pro.
Alicia?
Yep, pretty much everything there, mobile engagement units, community engagement dashboards, call center dashboards, all that integration. I thought they were pretty strong in community outreach.
Chris, what do you think?
I don't know. I was just,
Meet in the middle.
I'm fine with meeting, I'm fine with a 4. I'm good. I can come up. I just was a little confused about the mobile outreach. It just being like a van that goes out. I was,
Capacity of it?
yeah, I was just I was expecting a little bit more than just like a van that goes out, or a little more explanation on what that was gonna do. So that's honestly why I scored it so low, because of it was presented, but not really
Detailed?
like detailed. It was just a van.
The only
You know.
weakness I have not is that it did come across as a one thing that then they would have to train up more
Yeah.
tiger teams to
Yeah.
do this.
I'm fine. I'm
That's-
fine. Yeah, if I'm just misunderstanding it, I'm fine with coming up. I have no issues with that.
I'd be willing to go down to a 4 if we
Yeah.
want to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
With a
I'm
4.
in the middle with you.
4. All right, presentation of workforce development, Elton? Chris?
3.
Alicia? Grace?
4.5.
Stephen?
3.
I have 2 3s, 2 4s, and a 4.5. We'll start with the 3s. Chris and Stephen.
Same thing as the last one.
Exact same.
Nothing that truly stood out to say this is,
Yeah.
above and beyond.
Felt like other teams had like a true purpose behind what they were saying outside of just saying something. So that's how I came to it. But again, willing to negotiate.
Convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you that they didn't really go into detail. This is what I had as a weakness about a pointed strategy for this. So I am willing, I could come down off that 4 based upon that and what you guys are saying.
At a 4.5 because they had established relationships and training programs to immediately build capacity from at multiple career levels, not just entry level. And I didn't have a weakness, so that's where I was headed with that, but good. Other notes. No, I don't need a pen. I was just looking for if I had other comments about it, of why I was so strongly scoring it.
You want to add anything, Felicia?
I put it was, a core delivery strategy of theirs. They were prioritizing local economy. They talked about that a lot. Again, they talked about it a lot. Maybe they didn't give sufficient detail. But it was definitely a core to everything that they talked about, which is why I said core.
So consensus, Lee. You would like to get, everyone would like to give us 2 4s, 2 3s, and a 4.5.
I'll come down to a 4.
But 3.5?
2 3s, you said?
Yeah, we were 3s. And Alton said he might come down to a 3.
I'm fine with the 3.5.
3.5.
It's Grace's.
I'm the highest. Yeah, all right, 3.5.
You sure?
I mean, no, but like, I'm not gonna convince everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel strongly, I mean, yeah.
No, because I don't have.
Do I
much
need to
other
allow
notes, but yeah.
0.75?
Yeah, I would.
Do I need to allow the 0.75?
No.
3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
You okay, Grace?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Reference responses, Elton?
And I'm very lenient when it comes to this. So I just gave him a 5. I gave him a 5 for reference responses.
All right, Chris?
3.5.
Felicia?
4.
Grace?
5.
Stephen?
3.
Okay.
So we'll go back to Chris and Stephen. What's the reason?
Too many references. And my expertise of this, when you're asking for a reference, you're asking for glowing reviews. And if you're providing something that's not a glowing review, then that's just somebody telling the truth. And there was a lot of 3s in some areas, a lot of 3s. So that to me sparks a concern that there was some type of misunderstanding at some point. I could understand like if you had 5 references and one of them had a 3, but I think they listed 3 3s.
And it's the reason why we ask for the references to send it to us directly, that it doesn't come from the proposer, it comes from the reference.
Oh, okay.
So
Yes.
that-
That
so you
even
got
makes
some
more sense.
honesty.
That
Yeah.
makes even more sense.
Yeah, you got more honesty.
Yes, that backs what I was saying.
And then when Felicia asked additional questions to the references, did that help any?
Yeah.
I mean, it also goes back to this, this breakdown, 6 references, only 2 really were truly relevant to it,
Right.
right?
Right.
So again, scoring a 5 would mean, or scoring a 4 or 5 would mean, look, glowing reviews and multiple reviews that meet that, right?
So the reviews that did come in
Yes.
were they were high. They were good. The ones that came in were good.
Yes, but
And
one
go
of them is lead, 2 of them is drainage,
I agree with you.
right? And so that's,
I also felt like their references though were more regional, like there was a live oak canopy issue in North Carolina that was very apt, and also Jefferson Parish, which is very hyperlocal, has very high marks for them.
What about meeting in the middle at 4?
I would do that.
okay. I'll meet you there.
I'll do it if Steven does it.
everybody,
Down to a 4.
4?
I mean, Elton,
Yeah. I mean, Stephen made a good point
yeah, no, I-
that, only a couple of them were lead reference, or one of them.
Giving that a 4. All right, CDM Smith is next. All right, y'all ready?
Yep.
All right. Elton, for proposal qualifications.
5.
Chris,
5.
Alicia,
Five.
Grace, Stephen,
5.
Grace.
Come on for your 5.
I don't like the way you said it. You sure?
Yeah, no, it's, yeah,
Okay.
it's not my area of expertise, so.
Okay. All right. So, did you want to say why you gave it 4?
I just felt like it was no, because my weaknesses are more so related to other pieces, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. Proposal methodology. Elton,
4.
Chris,
4.
Felicia,
5.
Grace,
4.
Stephen,
4.
Felicia.
I liked that they are prioritizing inspections in the first 2 years. They're integrating other board projects. Their entire schedule was included. They were very strong in funding. And they said that they would clear 90% of the unknowns in 2 years using both inspections and predictive modeling and working with LDH.
So anybody want to explain why they gave a 4?
So I gave them a 4 because I believe we talked about this, or they talked about this, and I think we asked a question, I can't remember, but they didn't have, or at least on the screen, they didn't have a forward-facing public display, which is very important. It might have just not been up on the screen, but they did not address that as far as something everybody else really dug into, having a forward display for the public to see how we are actively replacing lines. So that's why I didn't on that.
Anybody else?
Okay.
So everybody
I'm out. Wait, so 4.
Wouldn't mind even coming up.
Yeah.
4.5, honestly.
You know, based,
I would come up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I would definitely come up.
that's a
Yeah,
small thing.
yeah.
It's a small thing that might have just been
It's
left
a
out.
small thing. I
No,
think-
to that might have been left out because they had a display for everything else, but just didn't have
We
that.
asked them about that and they didn't have one. That was one of my,
That was on the list?
because, I mean, within the methodology of that section was a lot of the community outreach and how you do it. And there was a template and they've done it, but it wasn't ready to go for it. A lot of it wasn't customized. And that's a pro and a con because they have templates that work from all of the other places that they've done things, but it just didn't feel sorted out clearly for here.
Are you okay with that 4.5, Grace?
Hmm. I guess so.
Okay. Everybody agree 4.5?
Yeah.
All right. Level of effort. Elton,
5.
Chris,
5.
Felicia,
4.
Grace,
3.5.
Stephen.
3.
Okay, Stephen and Grace.
I think I was like balancing between it meets like the default of where like it meets the expectations, but it was
Yeah.
just, I didn't find either direction, so I
I agree. Again,
averaged, yeah, like
Like-
it didn't blow me away of any of the points, so I didn't go higher.
yeah, I mean, all the level of efforts to me are just kind of there, and there are differences between all of them, right?
Mhm.
We're not necessarily comparing, but you know, in order to say someone's a 5 without knowing exactly what they will do, it's predicted what they will do, right? It's a guessing game, right? We don't know until we actually get into it. So for me to score anybody a 4 or 5 without knowing exactly what we're getting into just doesn't seem, right. But that's up, I'm open to discussion about that. The only weakness I really had was, again, the communication seemed high, but overall, I mean, to me, based on the scoring that in the email was 3s were meeting the qualifications and maybe having a little more,
Mhm.
right? 5 was above and beyond, right? So if you're gonna say 5, what in this level of effort tells you that this is above and beyond anyone else or anyone else that can do it?
Just a question here and just, what does that look like as far as a 5, like an example, just based upon hours?
Well,
right?
that's what I'm saying. On the level
Yeah,
of
and
effort, it's hard to do when they're,
There's not.
And that's why I was,
It's not a-
that's why I was very
Yeah.
generous with that. That's the reason why I
yeah,
went
I
there.
where you come
I
from.
agree.
Yeah.
But there's nothing concrete to these numbers, right? They could potentially be modified and changed based on, the program itself.
Yeah.
The agreements and the, you know, whatever else. You see what I mean?
I get it.
Also question, because within that kind of section, most people put their like assumptions of risks in there.
Mhm, mhm.
And I was also kind of judging that, I think, within. Is that fair or no?
No, I think it's,
Is that like where I should be putting those strengths and weaknesses from the assumptions page into the level of effort category?
I mean, I'm just going also like, just related to what AECom also put, right? They couldn't even tell you like a true plus or minus. It's just, hey, these are our hours, they're high or low. Okay, well, that doesn't really mean anything, right? Like
Mhm.
it's there for us to see, but it's truly,
Yeah.
it's unknown until we get into it.
It's, in CDM, was very balanced,
Exactly.
averaged and balanced.
What were the scores again?
2 5s, a 4, a 3.5, and a 3. Yes.
I'll come down, obviously.
So are we-
I have
are
no
we
issues with
looking
that.
at-
Me too.
It's wherever y'all agree at, I'm happy to agree with. I
Just
see, I
because-
see both sides. I see exactly what Steven's saying, like that there's really no baseline. We're just,
Go with the 4 or is?
Did we have all of this discussion and assumptions for Ardura's score, which I don't even remember what the average one was?
They were the lowest hours.
They were the
And-
lowest, that was a 3.
Oh, right, okay.
And then the weakness for Duro was that it's limited hours for filter, pitcher,
Mhm.
and work order, kit procurement. But again, you know, it's hours, some weakness that, again, is
Could,
kind,
right,
Mhm.
could be corrected, right? I mean,
CDM Smith.
But they
was in the
may-
Middle of the pack for the hours. They
Uh-huh.
were the second highest, but that's middle of the pack when there's only 4.
yeah,
Um,
and they were.
they didn't
balanced
include
between-
hours for the call center. And they had low for funding. They had a low level of effort for funding.
so what do y'all want to meet? Because I'm willing to compromise, obviously. I'm the lowest score, so I must, you know, I'm a little harsher than you guys, maybe.
I was only
Give it
3.5,
to-
so I just,
I guess coming up to the 4, which is what Felicia suggested.
that?
Is
I was saying, I think a 4 is fair.
you're all right with that
I'm
4?
with that.
I'm good,
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good with that.
I'm good.
All right. 4 it is. All right, presentation of program approach, Elton.
5.
Chris,
5.
Felicia? Grace,
4.
Stephen.
Out of 4.
So why did I get 4s?
Let's see. Approach was very integrated, backed by experience, proactive plan to stay flexible. I think it wasn't blown away, so it didn't go all the way to 5.
Okay.
I'm the same way. I mean, I wasn't truly blown away necessarily because again, this is a program that it is what it is, right? And so, I mean, the thing that I think set them a bit aside from everyone else in terms of program approach was that they did speak on how they were going to put the jobs out, you know, in small, medium, large capacity. I did like that. When it came to the other presenters in regards to program approach, they had a game plan, but the game plan didn't seem to line up with state regulations, state laws that we can do, right? I'm talking about other ones, not this one, other
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
But we can discuss that when we get there. In terms of this one, that's what I did like. So I would go to 5. Again, I was saving 5s for really outstanding
Yeah,
things.
that's.
Which-
what happened
but
with mine as well.
I'm good to compromise
4.5.
or go up because
Said 4.5?
I'm okay. It's 2 5s, what, 2 5s?
3 5s and
There's
2.
3 5s and 2 4s.
Here, 5.
I don't.
What do you
me-
want,
to
Grace?
me It wasn't, yeah, it didn't,
Do you want me to explain the 5?
yeah, do the strengths.
So one thing that Stephen, that you touched on is how they were pre-planning, right? So they did pick neighborhoods where they would start with contracts where there was high concentration. They did touch on the public-private, and they obviously had knowledge of the bill that was going through.
Mhm.
With assumptions that if we could work on private, this is how we would start. So I appreciated that. I appreciated their canvassing efforts. Again, the quick start. My only weakness was 45 days for restoration. So I would be
Yeah.
willing to go 4.5.
Yeah, I would be more comfortable with 4.5.
Okay.
Elton, you wanted to add anything?
To that? Oh, I'm willing to go with 4.5. Like we said, we talked about 4.5. That's fine.
You okay with that, Stephen?
Yes, ma'am.
You okay with that, Grace?
Yeah.
4.5?
Mhm.
All right. Okay. Presentation of community outreach, Elton?
Okay, I gave them a 5 as well because the canvassers and the pastor here with the faith-based relationships he has around the city, that was really important. So that was pretty big for me. So that means they'd have the ability to touch a lot of people across different aspects of different areas of New Orleans. So that's why I gave them a 5 on that one. But I would be willing to, just depending on hearing, I am open.
Gotcha. Chris?
4.
Felicia?
I gave them a 5. I liked how they talked about transitioning the call center to a local call center eventually. They also were just really strong in community outreach.
Grace?
4.
3. But I think I need a change based on what Felicia and, based on what Alton and they're saying. Again, I'm saving 4 and 5 for something that is outside of the norm. I think what Alton said is,
I
Yeah.
also brought down the comment you had about the public facing dashboard that wasn't prepared yet, that ended up as a weakness down here for me. And not having that, ready to show and roll out as far as.
I scored it a 4 just because I felt though there was one particular team that I thought their community outreach was way
Yeah.
a level above everybody else. So there was no way I could give anybody that score but that team.
I-
I'm
That's
sure
why I said
you
I'd
know
be
what
willing-
team I'm talking about.
I'd be willing to
Yeah.
compromise with that. That's why I said I'd be willing to compromise with that.
2 4s and a 3.
I'm okay with 4.
Four.
I'm on.
All right. Presentation of workforce development, Elton? Chris?
5.
Felicia?
4.5.
Grace? 4. Stephen?
Why are you doing this to me? 3. I would like to hear the 5's
You go play.
strengths to modify my score if necessary.
I'm willing to go down. I think I might have scored it a little high, but it had nothing to do with. I think they would have a great workforce development situation.
It was the same where it did hit all the marks. It went beyond.
Yeah.
what They could get up, but it just wasn't, it
There-
didn't blow me
yeah.
away.
Yeah. I could go down.
So 4?
That's what I give.
Okay, I'm with me.
4.
Yep.
Reference responses, Elton?
5. Yeah.
Very strong 5.
5.
Chris?
Very strong 5.
Felicia? Grace?
I gave him a 4.
Stephen?
5.
I'll come up to 5.
Five.
So everybody had a 5. You want to explain your 4?
It was just, no, it wasn't, I could be convinced because it wasn't enough to maybe go down that far. There was a note about past issues with permits and notes that, the program management budget increased alongside added contractor packages when they needed to accelerate. But there were many so that's fine.
So 5?
Everybody, yeah. that's-
Yeah.
5. Okay. VIP Equiflow. Elton?
3.
Felicia?
3.
3.5.
3.
You want to explain your 2.5?
2. No, 3.
No, I said 3.5.
Oh, 3, you said 3.5?
I said 3.5,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. All right. So you want to explain your 3.5?
How does a good balance of national and local, their experience is all focused on the subject matter, but, I could see that they're weighing the weaknesses probably stronger. And also that we learned that they're sharing resources on other concurrent projects. So I can come down to 3.
Everybody agree to a 3?
What a 3.
Methodology, Elton,
3.
Chris,
3.
Felicia,
3.5.
Grace,
3.
Stephen,
2.
want to explain your 2?
Yeah, I just think that a lot of methodology was broken down by speed. And, speed's not always the best, right? And speed in New Orleans is not always the best. It just, the amount that they're proposing that can be done, and I think that was in the presentation as well, I just don't find that to be as realistic as the other groups, what they had originally. I'm willing to go to a 3, but not much higher than that.
I would actually be willing to go down. I thought a 3 was kind of fair, honestly. I'd go down.
Yeah,
I'd
you
go
got it
down.
right.
I'd go down. Same exact, that was the construction aspect of me just doesn't
I know.
make any sense.
There's also the discussion in the presentation about getting one contractor on board, designating, 6 subs. That's not, we can't typically do that. And if there was a way to do it, there's no explanation on how to do that, right? I thought the methodology didn't quite meet what New Orleans can do, right? Like maybe this is somewhere else they can do all these methodologies, but New Orleans is, as everyone knows, and that was in a lot of presentations, New Orleans is unique.
Yeah.
So if you think that you're coming in and doing a one size fits all, I just don't believe in that. I mean, I've seen too much, and I'm sure you guys have seen too much around here.
I'm willing to go down to a 3. The only reason I gave it a 3.5 is because the methodology included everything, right? It included outreach, education, workforce development.
Yeah.
So I bumped it up a little more because, the workforce development, and their
Right, all
outreach.
the other
Yeah.
pieces were very
Yeah, I could agree with that.
I'm okay with going 3. I mean, obviously,
Okay
I've been
with that.
scoring a little
Yeah.
bit than everyone else.
Yeah.
So if a 3 is concurrent score, I'm okay.
Level of effort, Elton?
All right, so we've been down this road. 5, but again,
Yeah.
we will have a conversation about it.
Chris,
4.
Felicia? Grace,
4.
Stephen?
I'm a 3. Sorry.
Averages to a 4.
4.
True.
Averages perfectly to a 4.
I think everybody can agree with that.
I can agree with that. It's the same thing, right? It's hours on a piece of paper that
That's where
have to be
the last
agreed
time
upon
spent.
later down the line, that we agree with the methodology. We
Correct.
want to do, like,
Yeah.
until that is fully explored, I can't, again, I can't get anyone a 5 necessarily, but I'm okay to compromise to a 4.
A 4?
Yeah.
All right,
They were middle of.
all right. Presentation of program approach, Elton?
3.
Chris?
3.
Felicia?
3.
Grace?
Not a 5.
Stephen?
I'm a 2.
Go with Grace first.
All right, I like that they plan to train their contractors on their methodology versus just writing the goals in through the specifications and hoping they stick to it. Debundling aspects of contract enables unconventional approaches to source funding, to source more funding, like focusing on health and workforce development opens up different avenues. I think they had a structured presentation they also structured their presentation to reflect their approach, which was comms and outreach first and integrated throughout, and a really strong forward of that. And I didn't have a weakness for that, for the presentation of the program approach.
Stephen?
Yeah, sure. So they talked about not using predictive modeling, which I think should be used. I mean, I don't know if y'all all necessarily agree with that, but that was part of the presentation. That was also in the packet itself. The 3-man team that they spoke about, while it sounds nice that we can go out there with 3-man team, it's not realistic all the time because there's not always ever someone home to be able to immediately say, yes, let's do this and let's roll, right? I mean, I thought that was what the 3-man team was, but if Grace, you're looking at me very confused,
Yeah.
that's what I thought it was, but if you want
But
to,
it was the pre, so it's more the canvassing. So a 3-man team that you have the specialty for public health, you have the technical expert, and you have another third person.
yeah, and maybe I misunderstood, and maybe yeah,
So that they can go back, and there's
The third
multiple
was the
3-man
inspector.
inspector.
yeah.
So
And
if they could roll forward.
And that's what I'm saying, if they could, right? But why, if you're not gonna, not everyone's gonna be home for that third person to be able to do the inspection, right? Because the inspection is on the private side. So if that homeowner is not home, that third person is walking around for no reason.
The third person,
What you just said, inspector.
yeah, but the other option of that is just canvassing beforehand and spending all of that time doing that when you're doing them at the same time, and then maybe you have to go back.
I'm
to-
just I'm going off of what the presentation said. So if I misunderstood, I'm
Comparing
again,
it to the other one, so that, did, the canvassing first and then they'll come back and do the investigations, but if you can't, it's, I felt like it was part of their methodology, where if you can get all of it done in the first strike, you are saving that time, even if you have to come back for just the investigation or one part of it. Why not get it all done in one go?
The
If
flip
they,
side of that is that you would inspect at the same time you replace.
oh,
So
I see what you're saying.
your contract would be block to
Inspect the
block,
same
and
time
you
as
would
you replace.
inspect and then replace right there if it's lead, and then move on, inspect.
So wait, if
Anyway,
you,
I'm just saying,
the
that's the
permit,
flip side. of
where
it.
does the permitting process go in between that then?
You would
in
have to
permitting
have it
for-
all in place.
Correct.
So you would go through a permitting process for unknowns?
Yes,
Does that not seem, is that the common?
yeah, it's common.
Okay.
Because you have lead on the block. So it's, anyway,
You-
yes.
Because if you have a known on the block period, you're permitting for the whole block. You're
And
saying.
for the regulations, unknown for lead.
I see what you're
I
saying.
just,
Okay.
I just keep going back to like their entire program was based off of how fast they could go, which drove down the cost.
Mhm.
And like their assumptions were almost like area to area, not even block to block, like parish, like Treme to the east. Like they were like comparing those as one. Like in New Orleans, like in the construction world, one house to another house can be completely different. Like you cannot even compare block to block because there's just so many variables here. And then like, it just didn't seem like they understood New Orleans. They understood what they were doing and what they wanted to present and what they've done in other areas that obviously has worked. But we are the farthest thing from other areas. Having done construction for a long time, we are so far from what the general, like even us to Jefferson Parish. Like Jefferson Parish, you can say is normalized. They're younger than us. We're in the Stone Age when it comes to most things, so assuming that we're going to be like, on the city of Wasusu or whatever, I don't know the name of it, Wasau, like it's just not going to be the same.
There's too many.
It's just, there's so many variables that I just felt like they just overlooked it. It was like, oh no, it's going to be the same. And then when we asked them questions about it, they didn't have any explanation behind it. It was just like, oh, well, no, it's going to be the same. That was essentially the answer.
I mean, we all have construction experience here. When does any construction project, no matter how good we plan, no matter how good we design, ever
Yeah.
goes to plan?
I think
It doesn't.
To be fair, they had answers, but.
So let's go back to the scores.
Be a 5 and a 2.
I'm okay with 3.
Down.
Yeah, and I'll go up.
3.
Going with a 3. All right. Presentation of community outreach, Elton.
5.
Chris,
5.
Alicia,
4.
Grace,
5.
Stephen,
3. I'll give them a 4. I'll move up to a 4.
I'm
Tell me
not
why
coming
you're
down-
5
I'm
and
not
4.
coming down from a 5.
Okay.
This is the team that puts community outreach and education forward. Their main.
I felt like they were a strong 5 compared to everybody
I
else.
mean,
But
Like I didn't even really have to.
even without my
talk about it.
3,
I felt it was
you
so
have to
strong.
convince them to move to a 5.
Alicia,
So-
Why are you a 5?
why you gave a 4?
I mean, I feel like it's part of the reason, it tied into program approach, right? Like some of their community approach, like with the 3-person team, didn't seem feasible, especially if you're gonna have an inspector go out there at the same time. So I tied it kind of all into that.
Just
What
felt-
you think about Stephen?
I just felt like the 3 ladies that were sitting here had connections and just experience, like they were the definition of what New Orleans is.
Yes.
That's how I judged it. Like they were New Orleans and that was, like, they didn't even have to talk about it. And I could have known that they were.
They,
New Orleans.
okay, I'll give you my strengths. So, very thorough stats and metrics for the planning. No, we'll customize it as we go. They already had things ready to go. Public dashboard and private dashboard already designed. Well done and prepared video, already done for campaigning. Targeted neighborhoods to approach first are laid out. Approach to outreach as a whole. as whole home health to gain trust and further work benefiting New Orleanians and the city, not just this program. And that means that communication will continue. And they also had a, existing connections with LiUNA, which is that similar to Thrive and Green Corps, where it's a workforce development program that's already has a pool of people to start pulling from to gain capacity for building out this 3-man team. And to me, the 3-man team, regardless of if it, turns into more canvassing, it's still doing the outreach, still doing the whole home health, and it's still building workforce capacity in different levels and different career paths. I think that was about all of them. And I really like the roadmap that they showed to do all of that.
So what was the scores again?
3 5s, 4 and a 3.
And who is the 4?
Me.
And are you willing to go up?
What about 4.5?
Hmm?
What about 4.5?
To me,
also 4.5.
No, I mean, I think
Respectively.
Grace has good points.
To me, I also like in a comparatively mind, that was the
Yeah.
one that impressed me the most.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
What was the 5?
No, I
Or
mean,
5.
you got 5.
I think they deserve a 5, in my opinion.
Okay,
Like,
I'm okay.
they
with
were
that.
just better.
I mean,
Okay, 5.
yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. Presentation of workforce development, Elton,
We also had another excellent approach. 5.
Chris,
5.
Felicia,
4.
Grace,
5.
Stephen.
3.
Let's start on Felicia first. Felicia.
Again, I thought it was strong, which a 4,
It's, yeah, a 4 strong.
again, with Stevens, 5 has to be like, blow me away.
Yeah.
Completely
I mean, I think it's
different.
easier to say what blew you away
Yeah,
than what I can say, because to me, yes, workforce, all of them build on workforce, right? And how they actually implement it is how they implement it. I get all that, but what blew you away about,
what was
what was the deciding factor to give them 2 more points than what is required of them to do a workforce development?
I think mine mixes in with the community outreach because they were so integrated and that they're using their workforce development to do all the pieces of it through that roadmap.
Mhm.
And that, again, it's already a program that exists with existing, deep connections and relationships that can hit the ground running.
So 3 5s, a 4 and a 3.
What are the other?
Do you have anything to add to that?
It was the same thing Grace was saying. So it was pretty good. Pretty good.
I just kind of coupled those together. That's how I was kind of looking at
Yeah,
it.
they were pretty close. They tied them in together.
Yeah, they tie them in as, I felt like that was just.
That's fair.
Okay.
And you were both the same for both categories.
Yeah.
Just lower.
I mean, we're here to come to a consensus. What do you guys think? I would be willing to go to a 4.5 for that.
I would be willing to go with 4.5.
Let's do 4.5.
All right. Okay.
And reference responses, Elton,
So based upon what we saw today, I had it scored wrong. I did have a 5. I'm coming down. So can I say what I,
you can say what you changed it to. You
oh,
can-
3.
3, okay. Chris,
2.
3.5.
and Stephen.
2.
So I have 2 2s, 1 3, 1 3.5, and 1 4.
I'm happy to go down to a 3.
I mean,
Grace, you want to come?
Sorry, where are we trying to meet in the middle? At a 3?
3.
And I'm a 3.5. I really thought it was strength that in Wausau, when they needed additional funds, or when additional funds were needed for additional scope, they didn't add to their program management budget. The funding went directly to replacements, not overhead. In both New London and Wausau. Why can't, however you pronounce it.
So Chris and Stephen.
I gave it a 2 because the reference they gave, the one thing that they gave a 3 was that they didn't understand the scope of the project, which we've talked about this entire thing of them not understanding the scope of the project. So why would it be any different if,
I also put that of the 2 that replied in the email, right? One was for CIP, the other was for Arcadis.
That's fair. So I'll
So,
go come down first.
Again, you know, the goal is to get the reference for the actual prime
Yeah.
and what the
Which is-
prime does.
Which is why. A
And I'm
company
not
counted.
saying that obviously the secondary firms don't count for anything, but it's gonna be the
We
prime
need
job
to
to
go.
get this work completed.
Right.
From
I got
start
you.
to finish, not the subs, not anyone else. It's the prime's responsibility.
Mhm.
So, and that's reflected on AECom's file as well, right? You know, you got 6 and 2 for Adura, all three for CDM are, you know, are relevant, and then you only have 1 for CIP.
Oh.
We're
Two,
trying- I think we
two,
said three.
Three,
we
4.5,
said
so, I mean, 4, 3.54, so Alicia said 3.
Three.
Three?
We're good with the 3. Yes?
Okay with 3?
Yeah, I'm fine with a 3.
Steve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, last one, Mott McDonald. Proposer qualifications, Elton?
I had them for a 4. Local staff, good experience with SLR replacements. They had good experience, just not the most. So that's why I had them as a 4.
Okay. Chris?
4.
Alicia?
4.5.
Grace?
4.5.
3.
3?
Yeah, I looked at the construction management and I'm looking at what they had on here, but my notes said, you know, construction management team experience was more related to road work, drainage and traffic lights. Right? I think that was with Wingate. But they did have one water line project, but the rest of it per the resume that was submitted, it was more road work related. And so that's why I gave them the score I have. But again, I'm willing to look into that because obviously maybe I overlooked something else. So can you?
Yeah,
repeat the
2
scores?
4s, 2 4.5s, and then your 3.
4?
I think 4 would be
I think
We
four.
were,
I think 4 would be good.
Four.
Yep.
all right.
Proposal methodology, Elton?
I had them down as a 4 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris?
4.
Alicia?
4.5.
A 3.
So we have 3 4s, 1 4.5, and 1 3. You want to explain the 3?
Well,
Or you want
I'll
to-
give strengths first on. The continuity transition would be smooth between Blue Conduit using their existing inventory. Workforce development was integrated into multiple partners or subcontractors, however you want to say it. RFP specs were ready to be augmented and standardized and work with what we need. Overestimation in order to ensure hitting replacement goals in the community outreach approach emphasizes trust building heavily and leveraging existing connections with community works. The only weakness I had was that the procurement requirements is a hurdle for
Yeah,
everyone.
that's kind of what I
think I
also
wrote
landed on in terms of weaknesses. I didn't find there was anything, again, above and beyond, like, to me, again, 3 satisfies the score, right? It satisfies the minimum requirements. You know, I put that the way they wanted to procure this was per area, which I understand, but at the same time, you know, doesn't always work as areas, and then contractors eventually could potentially underperform. And then, so how do you handle that? And you move them into areas if you already put the contracts the way they are. That was in the proposal to break up the contracts in the areas.
Right.
So-
I think I had somewhere else on there about they were also gonna break them up by, sorry, I want to make sure this is for this company. And then I didn't put it for somebody else. Is this the one that they were also gonna break up by council districts because they know that's how the communication
I
works
think
here?
so.
Yeah, and
I think it was
also
them, yeah.
permitting based on
Yeah.
if it's historical,
definitely them.
if it's that, yeah. So like to
Yeah.
me, that methodology was stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a solid methodology.
So
There's a 4.5 and a 3.
4?
Or,
Yeah. 4. Yeah.
And 4, all right.
Yeah.
Level of effort.
Yeah, no, I was a little, so I had them as a 5. I'd be willing, they're about the same as CDM and CIP, so 4.
So 4, okay,
Yeah, I agree. I had a 5, but I'm a 4. I'm not gonna say a 4.
okay, 4. Alicia?
4.
Grace?
yeah, 4.
I was at 3, but I'll go up to a 4 because
Is
of
that your,
my 3 is my official
You want the
score,
3,
but I
okay.
will consist to a 4.
does everybody agree to that, a 4?
Yes.
All right. Presentation of program approach. Elton?
Presentation of program approach. I had him as a 5 because the ability to replace LCL in a timely manner, plus the funding experience seemed like really important. And along with CDM, the ability to secure funds when we eventually run out of this is very important. And if you have experience meeting that and having done that before, it strikes a big mark in my book.
So, a 5?
But I will go with the consensus because I know everybody probably wasn't a
Oh, what's your
5.
official score?
Score was a 5.
Chris?
4.
Felicia?
4.5.
Grace?
5.
Stephen?
I was a 3.
I also thought that the grant tracks, the dashboard
Mhm.
for their funding progress was really helpful and transparent. And they noted a lot of, they'll have, data ready to go is every time that we need to, report out or talk to a new person. Also, I had the targeting contract packages by council district as well as historic permitting / needs was a strong in that category for me too. Because I learned about that more so during the presentation than I did reading through the methodology.
Yeah, I think part of the presentation talked about the RFQ process for contractors. Again, that was something that we don't necessarily do or can do, or if we can, again, no real understanding of or breakdown of what that looks like. Self-verification was mentioned, which, could be, yes, which could be a positive, but also could be a negative, right? If you have homeowners out there, digging up their own lines and breaking them, it's, to me was somewhat of a positive. That is definitely something we could do, but it's also something we have to be very careful about, right? Because then if we're telling people to go do this, then how do we take on that liability? Right.
Self-reporting was a piece of most everybody's.
Yeah.
I thought it
proposal.
was only of 2 that I
I
heard.
thought it was 3, I think, but 1 didn't mention self-reporting.
Um,
It was in
3 of the 4.
at least 2.
At
I
least.
thought it was in only 2.
Well, regardless, but
Anyway,
to make
It's-
sure
it's-
that is a
Was
issue.
Mott the one, I'm sorry,
No, go please.
was Mott the one that lady mentioned that the program manager wouldn't be here, well, he's not here right now and it wasn't sure. He's in Denver.
I don't recall them
Can't
saying.
remember. Yeah, Denver. She said something about Denver. I can't remember. what she said.
I think Kareem did state.
Yes, that they would relocate.
All right.
So what were the scores?
Yeah.
2 5s, a 4, a 4.5, and a 3.
Or a 4.
I'm okay with 4.
Meet middle.
Chris?
Okay with 4.
Stephen? So 4, Felicia 4.
The 4.5. I feel like it was really strong. And the other procurement issues I do think was like in one of the other proposals was more of a weakness because their approach leaned on it so hard. But this was, I felt like was just a approach that could be good if it worked, but it's not, the RFQ piece not working would not make them lesser than anybody else. I feel like they'd just come to the same time frame that everybody else's approach would be. And just not knowing that little detail, I just didn't feel like it was enough to,
Yeah, but if your approach is built off of that, and
but that's, even without that piece, the approach is not.
I mean,
change
the
that.
procurement of this construction is huge.
You
It was
wanna-
fast.
I know a lot of a lot of the proposals said, that community, and I fully agree with that.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, this is a lead service line replacement program. Construction is a lot of this work.
Correct.
Community sets it up, and I agree with that 100%.
But you can't do any of that part if you don't have the ROE, and that's full community outreach.
I
based.
agree. That's what I'm saying. I don't disagree with that.
I
But
feel like
we
we
also
should
have to
be
come to the fact that this is a construction. At the heart of this program is construction and but it is also community. It is also health. It is also all these things that every single one of these people talked about, right? But construction, at the end of the day, is where we're going to be judged. Does this program actually get done?
I just think they should be weighted equally, because again, you're not gonna get it done if you're not allowed on people's property.
I don't disagree with
And I
that.
just think the procurement piece of it, there, it's not my subject matter expert, but
Mhm.
to me, the procurement ends up, we have a very strict way we have to do
Yeah.
it. So it's gonna
Yeah.
end up being that way regardless.
Yeah.
And I think they can deal with that. is all
Elton,
I'm
you
saying.
had a
But-
comment you wanted to make?
I think it was about as a whole, I think, I would be fine with a 4,
Okay,
is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
All
I
right.
would be fine with a 4.
4,
I would be
Does
fine.
everyone
with a
agree?
4.5. The only thing let me say this piece,
Yes, sir.
is that goes back to my strength.
Mhm.
It's very similar to somebody else.
Mhm.
Pretty similar, maybe not the same, but it's pretty similar. So that's why a 4.5 is viable here.
Yeah, agreed.
But and again, funding experience or getting us funding
Yeah.
to complete this to the end is important.
Yeah.
To me.
That's huge.
So, but
4.
do we have another round of this? With 4?
I'm a strong 4.
Or
You strong on
4.5.
I can't, I just
Right.
can't.
Mhm.
I'm with you.
4,
I'm going with 4. All right, 4.
Steven?
Yep.
All right. All right, presentation of community outreach, Elton,
4.
Chris,
4.
Felicia,
5.
Grace,
5.
Steven,
4.
2 5s and 3 4s.
I had public and private dashboards using the same information so you can filter between the two, so be very integrated. And they include lead-free homes in that education and that ability to see what's going on. So you're not forgetting anybody. The job is not marked complete until customer signs off on restoration satisfaction, not just it put some sod back on top, check and done. It's a structured timeline, starting outreach prior to investigations. Like we talked about, they had a very structured canvassing and then 2 weeks and then investigations. And I didn't have a weakness.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily have a weakness either. I just, again, a 5 is high regard, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Consensus lead.
Didn't see them the same as the company before, so I'll give them a 4. I don't think they were on the same level.
3 4s and 2 5s.
I mean, the only weakness that I had for that was the visible community outreach wasn't really clear. That would be the only thing. And so therefore it being open to being somewhere in the middle of the 5s and the 4s.
I'm okay with a 4.5.
I do 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
Oh, you were 4.
You was a 4.5?
Instead of
You
5.
said
I thought you
5.
said 5.
I thought you said 5.
Grace, you said 5.
Sorry.
Okay, you said-
Sorry.
But I'm
Sorry, you're right. I was a 5.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So 4.5.
I'm fine with that.
4.5. Everybody agree, 4.5?
It was
that's
4.5.
fine.
All right, presentation of workforce development.
I
Elton?
was getting mixed up. too.
So I had them as a 5, and I'll tell you why. Really good experience and approach the training high school kids to come into this
Yeah.
workforce straight out of high school in the city of New Orleans. That's hit for me.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Chris?
I am good with that.
Strong 5. Very strong.
Alicia?
5.
4.5.
Grace?
Strong 5.
4.
Not that all.
At least know the 3.
Yeah, I thought that was better. Also the DBEs are integrated in the workforce development effort and each have goals to hit, not just outreach and comms. The Prime has an established workforce development program in-house already that they'll replicate here. And then we have past employees strong in the DBE field that are on that team. They have a 4-pronged approach that's spread out and balanced for all of it. So it was really strong on focusing on mid-level career advancement as well as entry.
So there was 3 5s, a 4.5 and a 4.
Maybe you want to move up?
I'll give it a 4.5.
Yeah, I'll do. Wait,
I mean,
what are we proposing?
There's 3 5s,
Are we
4.5.
proposing a 4.5 or 5?
oh, no, you don't move up. I guess you would stay. A 4.5 or a 5. Are y'all
We're
strong?
5s.
Strong 5s?
So
Strong
that's,
5s.
so Felicia,
Alicia?
what was like,
I could go with 5.
or what was Like, why'd you give them a 4.5 then? Or what was a weakness?
I just,
It's just comparatively.
yeah, comparatively is pretty much it. It's just, I don't think I gave anybody a 5.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't give anybody a 5, so it was just comparatively.
Yeah, don't take my 4 as a bad thing. It's just like
like
you said,
Yeah.
I didn't give
Your
much of.
for today is,
In that
I would
sense.
say that is pretty strong, actually.
yeah.
So,
Okay, I'm
5.
fine with the 5.
Everybody a 5? Everybody agree with 5? Okay.
Where's this?
Reference responses, Elton?
All right, so reference responses, I had them as a 5, but we all discussed this. I'll just, I am work,
We'll go, come back.
yeah, come back to me.
Okay.
Yeah, when.
You want me to
well,
come
I-
back to you for your?
No, my official score
Five?
on my paper
It's
is
a 5?
is a 5.
Okay, all right.
We're gonna come and talk about this.
Okay, Grace, I'm sorry, Chris,
A 5 for me as well, but I agree with you.
Alicia,
4.5.
Grace?
I have 4.
I mean, it's the same as what I said here, but, I mean,
Yeah.
based on the other ones, I think
Based on the other ones, I'm.
I would
comfortable.
go back.
I'll
up.
go down from a 5 right now. I'll say
Yes.
that.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
I can't compare
but
it to.
I believe they're
They're
we're
good.
coming down.
Yeah, they're
It's
good.
4.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
what I-
good.
got
It's
to
just
4.5.
not, yeah.
They
I
did have
agree.
very strong.
They're very
pretty
strong.
high accolades from
Yes.
Denver on preparedness, and
Yes.
hitting performance deadlines. My only weakness was that it just wasn't as many. So,
You're good,
4.5?
4.5?
Yep.
4.5, 4.5? 4.5. Woo.
Right.
Okay, final scores. We have Ardura at 79.25, CDM Smith at 90.25, CIP Equiflow at 68.25, and Mott McDonald at 83.75. Can I get a motion to adopt the DBE and technical scores?
First, I want to make correction. I made my title as Deputy General Superintendent of Business Services, which was wrong. It's engineering and services, so I want to make that correction on record.
But I
Just-
did have your deputy general superintendent.
I want to make sure, and then I will move to
you'll second?
So.
select the highest score. Sorry,
Second.
No, we're just
adopting the scores.
right now.
Okay, motion to adopt the scores.
Yes, and second,
Second.
Felicia. Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to recommend CDM Smith for recommendation of award to be presented to the department and the board of directors?
All motion.
Sure.
And I will second.
Stephen, any public comment?
Public comment.
Okay, you step right up here to the mic. You state your name?
Dwayne Burnell, Principal with Legacy Professional Services. My only comment is from a methodology standpoint in the past, in my 20 years of doing procurements, I've never seen it done this way, where there's a consensus discussion versus everyone scores and then there's just an average of the scores. Now, I may have missed some in the press. I may not have been present for Sewage and Water Board, but I've never seen the ability to convince and sway versus everyone coming in and scoring and just averaging the score. If you want a consensus, just take the average of the score. It's too subjective. There's no objectivity in that. I think that's an issue. I think it's a problem. I think it's been an issue in the past with the procurement. So I just want to go on the record as a local business owner that employs 50 plus people with a team that also had some local business owners that employ almost 80 people total combined, that I take strong issue with this methodology. And I don't think it's a fair and objective approach. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. I would like to thank the committee for the time they have provided to this RFP and to AECom for their consultation. And I would like to thank the vendors for their participation. Can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I will motion to adjourn.
Stephen, second.
I second.
Grace, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. This meeting is now adjourned. Please turn off the mics and stop recording.